Self-sabotage is when you're trying to move forward with your life, but you're literally being your own enemy of progress. You are in your own way. That's what self-sabotage is. It's like, why are you trying to stop my shine? But it's you. It's like, why are you trying to stop my bag? But it's you. You can't determine for people whether they're going to show up for you or not. You have to allow them to exist and to be, and to give them the opportunity to do so. And if you're not doing that, then you're self-sabotaging, because you're claiming that you want care. You're claiming that you want intimacy. You're claiming that you want to get closer to people. But your energy is not doing that. When you're growing and you don't actually believe that you have what it takes to keep growing or to sustain the growth that you're about to achieve, you can easily self-sabotage. Hello, welcome to the Live Your Essence podcast. I'm Sabrina Kumwa, your host, and I'm a speaker, singer, and software engineer. On this podcast, we talk about walking in our purpose, enjoying the journey of growth, and approaching life with a sense of curiosity and wonder. Live Your Essence is your space to partner with your God-given uniqueness to build a life you truly love. Now, let's dive into this episode. If you clicked on this video, it's probably because you want to break free from self-sabotage and you are just sick and tired of it destroying your life. You are tired of just hurting your own chances at succeeding. And I want us to talk about that today because unfortunately, I happen to be an expert in I happen to have a lot. Let me not say I'm an expert in self-sabotage, okay? Because I don't even want to claim that anymore. But unfortunately, I happen to have a lot of experience in this domain, okay? And I guess it's unfortunate, but I'm also grateful for all my experiences because now I get to share them with you and hopefully save you some time of struggling and trying to figure all of this stuff out on your own. I have the definition of self-sabotage here, so I want to start by sharing what it is. Self-sabotaging behavior refers to intentional action or inaction that undermines people's progress. Ooh, my phone is falling. Why are you trying to sabotage me, phone? Dang. That undermines people's progress and prevents them from accomplishing their goals. Self-sabotage occurs when people hinder their own success. Self-sabotage is when you're trying to fly, but you're clipping your own wings at the same time. Self-sabotage is when you're trying to move forward with your life, but you're literally being your own enemy of progress. Why would you want to be your own enemy of progress? You are in your own way. That's what self-sabotage is. You are in your own way. It's like, why are you trying to stop my shine? But it's you. It's like, why are you trying to stop my bag? But it's you. It's like, why are you trying to stop my happiness? But it's literally you. You're the person in the mirror is the one trying to stop your bag, your shine, your life, your happiness, your good health, your money, you know? We sabotage our relationships due to a fear of rejection because all of us have had at least one moment in our lives that made us feel small. You know, we're in a way where other people made us feel small. We all have at least one moment in our lives where we felt rejected. And it doesn't matter. You can be 50 something, 60 something, but you're probably still going to remember that one moment in your childhood where the kids didn't want to have you play with them or something that just opened your eyes to what it feels to be rejected. And it doesn't matter how old you are. If you don't do the work to heal the parts of your heart that are demanding your attention, weird behaviors and self-sabotaging behaviors might still pop up. And in my case, if I'm being honest with you, the way I self-sabotage is by oversharing and like just blurting things out because I didn't want someone like discovering something about me later down the line. And so I would bring a lot of things that could give people the opportunity to reject me quickly. Like within, I don't know how long of meeting them, or like I would just say things to quickly make sure that, oh, okay, just making sure that you know this, like just making sure that you know that, just to like protect myself from the feeling of eventual rejection or disappointment if they realize that maybe I'm not who they thought I was. I've known people in my life that have also displayed this behavior in different ways. They would overshare a lot of personal things about themselves just after meeting me, and it got me wondering why I should know this information about them early on. And I think that's like a posture that a lot of people are adopting nowadays in dating. I'm seeing a lot of threads and tweets about, oh, like, on the first date, make sure you have like this list of questions, like make sure you ask them this way, that. It puts people on the spot. Like, you don't want to actually meet people or go on a first date or just like any kind of new interaction with the person and make them feel like they're getting interviewed or make them feel like this is a setup or something. You don't actually want that. And I think it's self-sabotage when you approach a new relationship with an energy of trying to control the interaction to protect yourself from feeling rejected down the line. And unfortunately, a lot of modern dating advice is from that self-sabotage behavior. Like, you're actually not going with the rhythm of how a healthy relationship should be. And this is not just about romantic relationships. This has to do with friendships too. Imagine meeting a new person and within the first few days of knowing you, they know all your deepest, darkest secrets. That is a form of self-sabotage, because there's no reason why someone you just met should know absolutely everything about you within the first few days or even months. It's just not healthy. And if you tend to overshare or blurt things out or just like yap and say things that are very dear and near to your heart, very personal things about yourself to people that you just met, that is a form of self-sabotage. Because one, you're either trying to protect yourself from rejection by oversharing these things to make sure that you have control over when you're rejected, because you actually believe that you're not worthy of having healthy relationships where people care about you down the line. So you just want to quickly get it over with. Or you actually just don't believe that you are worth being discovered slowly. So you would rather quickly run up into a situation and say all the interesting things about you because you want to sound like really impressive, or say all the messed up stuff about you because you want to like attract care and attention from people. All of these are forms of self-sabotage. Like, to stop self-sabotaging in this way when it comes to your relationships, you have to grow your rejection muscles. You have to start becoming more and more comfortable with rejection or the idea that you could get potentially rejected. Because guess what? Rejection is not going to kill you. You're going to get better. You're going to get up. You're going to get back on your feet and you're going to move on with your life. Like, rejection is actually not going to kill you. If you do things because you're afraid of other people rejecting you, you're going to reject them first through your behavior, through your energy. It's not even necessarily going to be something that you say outright, but through your energy, you're going to push them away and reject them, because it's not attractive energy when you're fearful. Fear is not attractive. And so if you're fearful in a relationship and you're trying to manipulate the situation, you're actually going to reject them first. That's what's going to happen. Your energy, they're going to be able to pick up on something from your energy. And next thing you know, they don't want you anymore, or they don't want to spend time with you anymore. They don't want to hear about you anymore. But that's because in your energy, you communicated to them that you believe deep down that you need to be rejected. You believe deep down that you are worthy of rejection and that you don't have something or you don't have it all together. Although in your actions, you sound confident or you sound like you're there or that you care, in your energy, you're actually passing a message that's saying, I don't actually believe that I can bag you, or I don't actually believe that I'm worthy of being in your life. I don't actually believe that I'm in your league. I don't actually believe this. And so, yeah, so maybe you're here, but like secretly, I don't even think that I'm deserving of you. People pick up on that energy. Okay, another way we self-sabotage in relationships is the opposite of oversharing. It's by just being too quiet and not sharing things that are important to us, to the ones that are actually in our lives to help us. I've done this many, many times with my friends. There are a lot of times where they could have helped me in a situation, or they could have prayed for me, they could have supported me. But I kept those things to myself because I was either one, ashamed of whatever I did or whatever someone did or whatever the situation was. So shame can hold you back. Another reason would be maybe I felt like they couldn't help me the way I helped them. That's another form of self-sabotage, because if people have shown you repeatedly that they want to be in your life, you have to give them the opportunity to show up for you. You cannot you can't, and that's another form of like trying to reject yourself before people reject you, right? You can't determine for people whether they're going to show up for you or not. You have to allow them to exist and to be, and to give them the opportunity to do so. And if you're not doing that, then you're self-sabotaging, because you're claiming that you want care, you're claiming that you want intimacy, you're claiming that you want to get closer to people, but your energy is not doing that. Your energy is not telling them things that they should know. And this is for, when the relationship has progressed, right? When we should actually be sharing stuff, not in the very, 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 very early beginning. But, the more you grow in a relationship with someone, like, you want to be sharing things from your heart. But if you hold back on that energy, you hold back on the things that you're thinking about, the ideas that you have, because you feel like someone's going to make fun of you, or you're going to be like laughed at, or you're not cool enough. That's just a form of self-sabotage, because you're acting you're acting against the very thing that it is that you desire. If you want closeness to people, you have to allow yourself to be seen. And if you're not allowing yourself to be seen in a relationship, then you are self-sabotaging, because intimacy cannot be built on hiding and pretending, okay? So the other thing we tend to self-sabotage is our growth. When you're growing, and you don't actually believe that you have what it takes to keep growing or to sustain the growth that you're about to achieve, you can easily self-sabotage. Let me give you an example in my own life. When I started working and making more money, I was like, wait, this is a lot of money. Like, I've never made this much money in my life, right? So that was breeding ground for self-sabotage, because I didn't believe that I had what it took to be a good steward over my money. I didn't believe that I had the wisdom or the connections or the attitude or whatever it was. I just didn't think that I was good enough to sustain my own money. And so because I didn't believe that, when I made money, I would either oversave or overspend, because I didn't know how to exist in the middle. When you oversave, it's a form of self-sabotage, because money is meant to be used. Shout out to Favor. Favor's my best friend. She says money is meant to be used. And money is meant to actually help you do things. So if you're oversaving, that's a form of self-sabotage. If you're overspending, it's a form of self-sabotage also, because it means that you don't trust yourself to be able to keep the money and not touch it, right? You don't trust yourself to make good decisions. You're afraid that you're going to make a decision that you're going to regret, and so you would rather just like spend the whole thing, because like, oh my God, I don't even want to think about this right now. Like, it's easier to, let me just mess this up, right? Self-sabotage is an energy of, let me just mess this up before it can mess me up. And we do that in our money, okay? We do that a lot in our finances. We also do it in our health. Like, maybe you started a diet and you were doing so well, but you self-sabotage your progress because you feel like you're not going to be able to sustain this diet. So you're like, you know what? Okay, I did so well, but like, I don't know if I can do this, man. Let me just mess it up early. Because you feel like if you mess it up early, it's better than messing it up, in like 3 months, right? It's gonna hurt if you mess up your streak in 3 months. So you prevent yourself from even building a streak in the first place by just like chipping away at your own progress slowly. Those are all forms of self-sabotage. And if this is what you're doing to hurt yourself in this moment, I want to tell you something. I literally want to encourage you with this. You are not the only person responsible for sustaining the growth that you build in your life. You have God. God is there. You are not alone. God wants to actually help you sustain the things that you're building. Just because you're the one building things on earth does not mean that you cannot get spiritual support from God. Because if you feel like you need to have control over everything, that's deception, because you're not even in control of the things you think you're in control over. So please do not self-sabotage your progress because you're afraid of the shame that's gonna come in the future when you fail to keep going. Life happens. You're not always gonna be able to keep a perfect streak. You can't always keep a perfect streak at things. And so life will happen. And so what you need to learn is to deal with the shame of those moments where you're not able to do the things you wanted to do. But it doesn't mean that you should plan ahead of time for failure by making yourself fail on purpose because you're afraid of the shame you're going to feel. In the future, if for some reason you skip your gym day, or you skip your diet, or you skip whatever it is that you're trying to commit yourself to, if naturally it happens and you fail, I'm gonna use my quotes, like you fail naturally, that's fine. But you don't have to make yourself fail right now because you feel like if you fail, you're gonna crash. You're not gonna crash. You're gonna keep moving on. So let yourself feel the shame and just move on with your life. It's perfectly fine. You do not have to self-sabotage because of that. And lastly, the third thing we self-sabotage is our potential. That's very connected to what I just shared about our progress. But we sabotage our potential when we're afraid of our own success. We're afraid of what comes with the success because we know that if we do something and we do it well, it means that in the future, we're going to have to sustain it, like I just mentioned. It also means that in the future, there's a possibility that we're going to feel isolated. There's a possibility that people are going to make fun of us. For this example, I want you to think of the smart kid in class that purposefully starts failing their class because they don't want to be the only nerd. They don't want to be seen as a geek or a nerd or whatever it's called. That's what it looks like when you're sabotaging your own potential. It's like you have things to offer. You know you're going to do well at these things, but you don't trust your ability to handle success. And for whatever reason, you don't trust that you can continue. You don't trust that you can manage the relationship dynamics that are going to change. Maybe you have a group of friends and you feel like if you put in a lot of work at something, you're going to leave them behind or you're going to leave them. There are all types of ways to self-sabotage in this way. And this is something I used to deal with more when I was younger. I felt like if I give something my all, if I put all my heart and my effort into something, maybe it's going to isolate me because I've had experiences in my life where I was maybe good at doing stuff and I felt isolated in my friends' responses. Maybe people didn't show up for me the way I thought they were going to show up for me. And so that ended up becoming an aspect of my life where I would sabotage situations where I was supposed to be good and I would not give my all and I would not give my best because I feared that when you're way at the top, you're alone. When you're way at the top, you're lonely. So let me just stay here because I don't want to be alone in my success. And a lot of people are sabotaging their potential because they're afraid of their own success. If this is you, I want to tell you something. Your success, your ability to be successful, your money, your joy, your happiness are not isolating experiences. And if something happened to you where you made it big or you succeeded and people did not show up for you, and as a result you stop showing up for yourself in the future and you sabotage your potential, if that's what happened to you, I want to tell you something. Success, joy, happiness, love, all the virtues of life that make us happy and that are desirable qualities, they're not isolating experiences. It's the enemy of your soul. He's the one using those things and making you think that if you have these things, you're going to be on your own. But you're not going to be on your own because God did not design you to enjoy the fullness of your life just so you can be isolated. So go full force in the gifts that God has given you. Go full force in the abilities that God has given you and trust Him that He's going to bring the right people and the right support system for when you want to be happy. You'll have people that will be happy with you. You'll have people that will celebrate your growth. You will have people that will empower you and encourage you. Your success is not going to be an isolating experience. So this whole like at the top you're alone, no. At the top, you see things clearly and you get to lift people with you. At the top, you see things clearly and you get to forgive people. At the top, you see things clearly and you get to help people. So your joy and all the beautiful things that come from you meeting your potential are not going to be isolating experiences. So do not self-sabotage your own progress and your own joy and your own happiness because you feel like you can't handle it or something bad is going to happen. No. Reject that thought, focus on you, do your thing, and don't be your own enemy of progress. So I think I'm going to end this video here and this podcast here. Thank you all so much for listening. If you learned anything, please let me know in the comments how you're going to be implementing these strategies and these tips. And I would love to see you guys next time. Don't forget to live your essence. Bye.